guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Damian Reacts. Happy Tuesday. I'm back with an MJV animations video for you guys today. It's been about 10 months since I've watched MJV, so it'll be nice to catch up, or not catch up, but just watch a video of his, because I know he has really good animations. So I'm really curious how this one will go. The suggestion will be on the screen because this was a suggestion. This one seems kind of iffy, but obviously it was a suggestion, so maybe there's going to be some jump scare. Maybe you guys think I'm going to have some feedback. Because again, like anytime you guys suggest something, I'm expecting something that I would want to react to, like something that I would react to. Like either negatively, positively, like get angry at, or something. So 4 true Instagram and children drawings horror stories animated. So I don't really know, like the Instagram part 100%, I'm assuming it's going to be like 2 and 2. But I don't know about children drawings. Like I don't really know what to expect there in that aspect. It's 22 minutes long, so each video is just a bit over. Is like maybe like 5.5 minutes, maybe just a bit over. I don't know, but like roughly 5 minutes each. Yeah, like roughly 5 minutes each, more or less. Starting.
I've had Instagram for a long.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna start off with Instagram. So again, honestly, like Instagram is obviously social media, so be careful on social media because anything can happen. Like I'm always nervous too. So it can definitely be a scary place. So be careful. Like watch yourself. Like if there's any like red flags, at least consider it.
I've had Instagram for a long time. I never pursued a big following on it, but over the years I accumulated nearly 1,000 followers.
More than me.
And I follow twice as many accounts.
Still
The
more than
feature
me.
where the app suggests people to follow is to blame for that, because I tend to click follow on people I think are interesting or attractive, but they don't
Same.
often return the favor.
Yeah, I feel that.
One day though, somebody did.
Oh,
They
okay.
popped up.
He's like,
The profile picture was of a fairly cute girl.
it's not a
So I
girl,
went
is
to
it?
her profile. The post went back pretty far. She had the same number of followers as me and was very pretty, but was also quite modest about it. The kind of balance that screams girlfriend material to me. So of course I followed her. The only odd thing on her profile that suggested anything was amiss was that there was an unusually large gap between her last few posts, and the last post was a little different than the rest. She always showed her face, but the last post was from a week earlier, and it was just a picture of the front of a coffee shop with the caption, "Back from the breakup. I guess I'll be spending all my time here again." However, I instantly recognized the coffee shop, because it was in my city just 3 miles from my house. It was a cool hangout spot I'd been to a few times, but I never really fit in with the crowd. Of course, if this girl was posted up there, I was totally cool with trying my luck again. Just as I started fantasizing like a hopeless romantic, thinking about going to hang out there over and over to eventually run into her, she followed me back. Then I got a message from her.
Yeah, like that's what you should do first. I just like talk first a little bit. Like don't just follow her and then go there to meet up. Like I doubt that she'll be there literally all the time. Like I get that he said try his luck, but still, it's like probably unlikely.
My heart burned with excitement as I read it and replied. Things were normal for a while as we texted back and forth, just getting to know general things about each other. Then she dropped a bombshell on me. She confessed that after her breakup with her last boyfriend, she got screwed over in pretty much every way. Losing all her friends, her apartment, and having to live in her car.
Wow.
She had tried to make friends with the new crowd of people that had grown into her old hangout spot in the years of her absence. But she couldn't fit in either. Her social confidence had been shot. Apparently she found it easier to make friends online. And that's where I came in.
Honestly, I agree. I don't know about you guys, but I agree because then like you're talking online, especially for me. Like you gotta understand, if you're gay, then you're not gonna find like you're not gonna go up to some. I'm not gonna go up to some random guy and say, "Hey, you're cute." I'll get slapped in the face or punched in the face. So it's not really how it works. But for guys and girls, yeah, you might as well just go up to someone. Hey, you're cute. Like what's the worst that can happen? Don't be a pervert about it, but like just be normal about it. But you should be fine. But if you're weird about it, then that's when stuff goes bad. But if you're just like, hey, just wanted to say you're pretty, thanks, not interested, okay, bye, right? That's all it is. But guys and guys, no. Unless it's like a gay bar or things like that, then it's a bit different. But if it's just a spot where like it could be anybody, then it's like you just don't want to take your like you could take your chances, but then you might embarrass yourself. It's not really embarrassing because like you're just shooting your shot, but like if they're not even into you, like into that gender, then that's kind of embarrassing on your end, right?
Baseline trustworthy guy, and she wanted to meet me. Not for a one-night stand, rebound, or anything, but just to have company and maybe cuddle and potentially crash at my place.
Yeah, we all know what that leads to.
I was blindsided. I accepted immediately, thinking I could turn this girl into my girlfriend in a couple weeks, or several months at the latest if she was that hung up on her ex. By this point, we had been texting for several hours, from 8 p.m. to midnight.
There's no hands on
so
the
she asked
clock.
to come over right away because her car was parked in a sketchy area. I told her to come right over and gave her my address. She said it would take her 20 minutes.
Hold on a second. I know it's showing photos of her and everything, like a video of her, but have you seen a video of her or a photo of her? Like a live photo? Like, anytime someone just sends like saved pics, especially on like dating apps, I'm like, okay, bet, let's go on a social media site, and then I can tell if it's live or not. So send me a live photo. Like, I don't know, put your fingers up, or put your thumb up, or put your just like to prove that it's taken right now.
So I quickly tidied things up for her arrival.
And plus midnight?
About half an hour after her last text, I was starting to get worried I had been catfished. But then, there was finally a knock on my door. I walked up and looked through the peephole, and lo and behold, there she was.
Okay.
The perfect, cute girl of my dreams. She was much more rough-looking in real life due to the stress of the last few weeks.
Damn, like she's a bit more rough.
If anything, it showed me the way she might look right after getting out of bed in the morning, and I still liked what I saw. I opened the door and let her in. She was very shy and kept apologizing for no reason.
I'd be shy
She
too.
was being a burden.
I'd be shy too.
I knew her ex must have done a number on her. I told her to make herself at home and have a seat on the couch. The tea had gotten cold, so I asked her if she still wanted some. But she was very hesitant to accept it, even though it clearly looked like she wanted it. As if popping the cup in the microwave for a minute was a huge bothersome task. Finally, after I insisted, she accepted it with a warm smile. When I came back from the kitchen, she had taken off her shoes and had pulled a blanket over her whole body except her head, cuddling one of the throw pillows underneath. I gave her the tea, then I sat down in the chair across from her and tried not to stare. But it was a wonderful sight to see her enjoying a simple, wholesome treat after going through it for so long.
That's true.
We talked as she sipped it down, and by the time she was finished, she was slurring her words and falling into the embrace of the couch. Before she knew it, she was in the deepest sleep of her life. She woke up in my basement cellar, her hands and feet tied together and chained to the wall.
What?
It wasn't until 8 in the morning that I finally heard her faint screaming for help. But no help will ever come for her.
Wait, the person telling the story is the one that's the devil? I thought the girl was gonna be the devil. Oh my god. Oh my god.
She was the perfect captain. Physically attractive, but also weak. Emotionally vulnerable. Naive. And suggestible. Nobody cares about her. So I don't think she's even been reported missing yet.
Oh my god.
I do what I please with her. Putting her through degrading conditions for days at a time. Then giving her small but meaningful moments of reprieve. She gets little treats to keep her spirits right at the level I want them to be. For the moment, she's complacent. But if that were to ever change, I could break her easily. I know it's the stupidest thing I could do right now, but I have this insatiable urge to brag about my achievement. I found the deepest corner of the internet and covered my tracks getting there, and I posted this knowing by the time it seeps out onto the surface web, nobody will be able to trace it back to me. I have about 10,000 followers.
So, yeah, about like 5.5 minutes. What the fuck? I didn't expect that, bro. I thought the girl was gonna be all weird and be all sus and be all dangerous potentially and not even be a girl and things like that, bro. What the hell? That's why anytime someone's like, do you want a drink? No. No. No.
It's on Instagram. Nothing celebrity level, but I like to post fitness updates, which tend to get a lot of attention on this app. I'm no stranger
face is
to
kinda
randoms
creepy.
and weirdos making thirsty comments on my posts, but I don't care either way about deleting and blocking creepy stuff or playing into it for more engagement. I usually ignore it,
That's a creepy ass face.
but one of them caught my eye. A man commented on a recent post in which I was feeling particularly confident. This man was different than the rest of the dirty commenters I usually get. He was very old. He wasn't withering away, as he looked fairly active and healthy when I looked through his
72
profile,
years old.
but he was still 72 years old. His comment was especially creepy, almost like his long years had given him that much more experience in making women uncomfortable. He said, "It's been so long since I've had so young. You'd be a darling if you could change that for me." That just felt gross to read. I did some digging out of unhealthy curiosity, and I found out that he lived in one of those swinger towns. The towns that retirees move to so they can screw as much as possible before biting the dust. And it happened to not be far from where I lived. A few days later, I made another post. Not even 10 minutes later, instead of commenting, the old creep went straight to my DMs. This time he said, "My wife's dead, you know. You don't have to worry about her. I'm just a sad, lonely old man in need of a tight young woman." Not only was I dealing with a gross old man persistently coming after me, but he was surprisingly good with technology. He saw that I left him on red and used it against me. When I didn't respond, he said, "You're just going to ignore me? You're missing out. I've got a bottle full of pills and the heart of a lion. I could plow you from dusk to dawn."
Okay. Her face. Okay.
I had a visceral response.
Good to know.
And finally texted back that I didn't want anything to do with him or his STD-ridden body.
I don't care. I don't want
Then
an
blocked
STD.
him.
Freak old guy
Over the
block.
course of the next few days, I slowly forgot about him. I went to the gym every day after work like usual. Then I went home to my condo and posted a couple pictures here and there.
It's in your mouth.
No more creepy old man, thankfully. Although there's never anything stopping a person from making a different account to lurk on my page. I didn't worry much about it though. Then, one evening, I came home from the gym and saw an unusual car parked in the row of parking spaces in front of my condo unit. It was an old-style car from the 70s or something.
It's not even like on the
I knew
road. It's like on the
nobody living
sidewalk.
near me drove anything like that, but the spots aren't reserved, so I figured someone was having a visitor. I went inside to shed my belongings and get a nice long shower. I wrapped a towel around me and walked across the hall to go back to my bedroom. I hadn't even turned the lights on yet.
No
There was
curtains?
enough light coming through the window that I didn't feel like it was necessary. I went over to my dresser and started pulling out clothes.
Oh, well, that's nice. You're just in your house, you know, basically naked. No curtains. It's fine. It's fine.
Then I dropped my towel to get changed into them. That's the exact moment I heard a voice from the closet say something that still rings in my ears to this day. "I've always wanted to try taking it by force." I screamed as the old man jumped out with a knife in his hand.
Oh,
I
shit.
made a run for the door, but he grabbed my wrist and yanked me back, turning me around and pulling me up close to him.
Is he
I
naked?
fought back against him, despite his threats to slice open my neck. The more I tried to get him off me, the tighter his grip became, and the more desperately I tried to kick him and claw at his face. I dug my nails into the side of his head and dragged 3 deep gashes across his face. He shouted in pain, but then began to laugh like a psycho as his hands wrapped around my neck. He squeezed and shoved me onto the bed, getting on top of me and forcing
Oh
the
my
life from my
God.
body. I tried reaching for the knife he had dropped, but things kept getting darker, and the look on his face just
Oh my
became
God.
more monstrous as his head swelled with intensity. Then, for no apparent reason, his grip loosened, and his expression became stunned. He staggered back and started to collapse and shake, and before I knew it, he was on the floor, having a
Heart attack?
full-blown violent seizure. I immediately went for my phone and dialed 911. After taking hold of the knife, I watched over the old man's body as he continued to convulse. I counted the minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, it stopped, but he didn't get up. He twitched a few more times before the paramedics and police finally arrived. but I later learned that he had already entered a coma from which he never recovered. 2 weeks prior, he had been diagnosed with severe terminal brain cancer and given barely any time to live.
Oh.
Leading to his aggressive, atypical behavior and disregard for any consequences his actions may have had. I was in shock, and even though some people say I should consider myself lucky, I still have night terrors, panic attacks, and crippling anxiety from the PTSD. I never post anymore, and I'm terrified of going to the gym, as that's where the man found out I went to and followed me home from. I never believed in the supernatural.
Okay, so we have 11 minutes left. We played 11. We have 11 minutes left, and both those were definitely interesting. I'm gonna assume these are children's horror stories now, or children's drawings, which I don't really know what to think about these, but I guess we'll see in a second. I'm just trying to see. But if you have anybody creepy like that, just block them. Like, just block them, and obviously if it escalates beyond that, that's obviously something that you obviously have to get the police involved into, but just block them. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, like, I'm into people too, and then they may not be interested, and then, you know, like, I get that you want to be persistent and stuff, but, like, I'll hold back a bit.
Until my son made me read.
Especially if you're like a psychopath like that, then you really gotta hold yourself back. Don't be stalking girls or guys or doing whatever you're doing. Don't be doing that.
We moved into a nice big old house a few years after he was born.
Like, it's one thing to like message over and over again, which is also annoying, but again, you can just block that person. If they just message you, then you can just easily block them. If they actually try to find you and try to find out where you live, then that's when it kind of gets dangerous, and when you're kind of like, you know, that's where it kind of gets potentially dangerous and serious. And then you get nervous, of course, right? Because that's obviously terrifying. Hold on, I got a message again. Just talking to this person I find attractive, so.
So we could have enough space to raise him and the other children my husband and I plan on having in the future.
And thankfully we're talking on Snap, not Instagram, so we're safe, right? It's fine.
However, only a few weeks after settling in, when he was just 4 years old, he started having terrible nightmares. He would come into our room in the middle of the night, screaming and crying, saying there was a skeleton woman in his closet.
I'm sorry,
We'd
what?
always check to make him feel safe.
Okay.
But of course, we never found anyone.
Okay.
My husband and I tried
Under your bed?
everything to get it to stop, but none of it had any effect.
Yeah, 4 years old is crazy to have nightmares.
We decided to keep the closet locked up. Most of the time we went back to check on it, we found the doors open. So we thought if we zip-tied the handles together, the doors would stay shut, and whatever our son was worried about being in there wouldn't be able to come out. However, this didn't work either. Our son still came barging into our room that night, and when we went to check his room, we found that the zip tie had been cut off. This was when my husband and I took a much more serious approach to this issue. We asked our son if he had taken the scissors from the kitchen to open the closet, but he said no.
Oh my god.
This left us in a conundrum. Our son hadn't slept properly in almost a month. We asked him a bunch of questions about the skeleton woman he said he kept seeing, but he seemed very afraid to talk about it.
Under your bed,
All
bro.
he said was that she kept asking him to go into the closet with her. Eventually, we asked him to draw the skeleton woman. It was a simple drawing, just a stick figure of a woman dressed in a long plain dress.
Showing
peeking out of
us.
the
Oh
closet.
my
But
god.
there were 3 distinct features that made a chill run down my spine. The first thing was the indication of blood running down from her neck, but that alone wasn't the worst of it. The second thing was the noose in her hand. When I asked my son what she was holding, he said he didn't know except that it was a piece of rope she always had. He was only 4 years old, and we monitored everything he watched, so there was basically no way he
Just
could
get a
have been
camera.
exposed to what a noose was or what it was used for.
I don't even know what that
Yet
is.
still, it showed up in his drawing. The final thing was the words written above her head. Just 2 words. Join us. I had been teaching
And
my
it says
son how
us.
to read and write for several months at that point to prepare him for school. But he had never exhibited the motivation to write much more than a few letters of the alphabet at a time. Now suddenly, he had perfectly spelled 2 entire words, which showed me just how scared of the skeleton woman he was. Unfortunately, this didn't give us any clue as to what to do.
Cameras.
We told him to tell that scary woman to go away, hoping he could conjure up some courage and learn something from the experience the next time he saw her. That next time turned out to be the very same night. I woke up around 11 p.m., but not to the sound of my son screaming and crying. I heard a weird thumping in the walls. Then I realized that was coming from my son's bedroom.
Oh, fuck,
So
bro.
I got up and walked over to his room. When I opened the door, I saw that he wasn't in bed. And once again, the closet door was open, but the light was off. I crept over to the closet, but right as I got up to it, something happened that I still can't comprehend. 2 bony, bloody hands jumped out from the doors and yanked them closed. I immediately ran over to them and tried to get the closet open.
Oh my god.
But no matter how hard I pulled, they wouldn't budge. I screamed for my husband to help me, and a few seconds later, he came running in. I told him to break down the doors, and without any second thoughts, he stepped back to the foot of her son's bed, then charged straight at the closet, smashing through the doors. He fell to the ground on top of them, and I raced in to find my son hanging by the neck from the rack. His face was swollen and
Oh
purple,
my
and he
god,
was still
what?
fighting against the rope, kicking the wall and trying to pull himself up. I
Hold on,
grabbed
what
him
the
and lifted him a
fuck?
few inches to get the pressure off his neck so he could breathe. My husband stood up a few moments later and was absolutely shocked.
I'd be like, what the fuck?
He went to the kitchen and came back with a knife to cut the rope. Our son was barely conscious and had horrible burns around his neck, but we had come just in time to save him from any serious harm. However, we still took him to the hospital to make sure he was okay. In doing so, we inadvertently forced the doctors to call the police to do an investigation, as if we had abused our son. We were questioned by the sheriff himself. Among the many questions he asked, one of them was if we knew anything about the history of the house we were living in, which we did not.
Well, yeah, because then obviously it's gonna look super bad on the parents going to the hospital. It's like, yeah, someone, put a rope around my son's neck and tried to kill him. It's like, was it you, bitch? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna assume it's them, because if no one else lives there, and like, obviously this woman or whatever doesn't exist. Like, that's why they were saying, I don't know about paranormal stuff. And that's honestly fucking terrifying, bro. Like, imagine just hanging from your fucking ceiling. Oh my god.
He went on to explain that 30 years ago, when he was in his second year as a deputy, he was called to that house for a wellness check. A family had been living there, but the mother had been so horrifically abused and starved by her husband that she had a severe psychotic breakdown. She severed his genitals in his sleep, then suffocated and hanged all 3 of their children in the exact closet of my son's bedroom before slitting her own throat.
Oh my god.
It was only the sheriff's knowledge of that case that kept us from being charged with child abuse. And he strongly urged us to move out of that house as soon as possible, which we absolutely did.
Well, that's interesting. Very unlikely, but I mean,
My name-
if it happened, it happened. It says true stories, so I don't know.
Miss Carla. I had a boy named Justin over in
Carla
my
or
room.
Carter?
My name is Carla. I had a boy
Carl.
named Justin over in my room a few months ago.
Wait, Carla or what the fuck? Give me a fucking second, because I see a guy, then I see a girl.
My name is Carla. I had
Carla.
a boy named Justin
Carla. Okay, cool. Carla. Thank you.
over in my room a few months ago. I didn't sneak him in or anything. We had just been hanging out recently and he seemed cool. It wasn't like I had a crush on him either. He was fun to hang out with, but not my type. We listened to music on the Bluetooth speaker he brought so we could show each other our favorite songs. It was fun at first, until he started getting a little too close to me. Then all of a sudden, his hand was on my inner thigh and about to go under my shorts. I pushed his hand away and told him I wasn't about that, but he kept trying to touch me and kiss me until I raised my voice and kicked him out.
Oh my
When he
god.
left, he slammed my door and left his speaker. I had no intention of giving it back to him, and I thought that was the end of it. Weeks went by and I had no direct interaction with him.
So like you're just randomly chilling, he randomly starts touching you and putting, like, bro, what the hell? Oh my god. Like, bro, you gotta ask, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You wanna have fun and stuff like that, but bro, ask first. There's plenty of girls that do want that, but ask, bro. You don't just assume that everyone wants that.
However, some weird stuff started happening to me. I would catch these group of boys at school staring at me and trying to contain laughter. They looked like they could be Justin's friends, so I figured he was spreading rumors about me.
Probably.
But I didn't want to waste energy on them, so I ignored it. It wasn't just that, though. I would be in my room, doing whatever, and occasionally, I would hear the faintest beep sound, kind of like a smoke alarm on the low battery. I kept hearing it, and it seemed like it would only happen when I was moving around or doing something, and it would happen at all hours of the day and night. I could never pinpoint exactly where it was coming from because it was so quiet. I asked my dad to change the battery and the smoke alarm, but even after he did, I kept hearing the noise. It started to really get on my nerves. I'd come home from school or get out of the shower, and it would be the first thing I heard when I went to my room. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out.
Like a beeping noise? Is it like a camera recording you? But like a camera recording doesn't make any noise. Like it's just silent. Like there's a red light flashing on my camera right now, right? Like flash, flash, flash. Like it just says that I'm recording, but there's not gonna be like a beeping every time you record. So I'm kind of thinking like a camera, but like a camera wouldn't beep though.
What it was. Then one day, I was on Instagram. I was recommended an account. The profile picture was just a black circle.
Oh,
But the
God.
part that caught my attention was the username. The Carla Show. I didn't like the fact that it was using my name that way, so I went to see what was up with the account. But it was private. I had requested to follow it, but days went by and I never got accepted. Something was telling me I had to know what was on that account. So I made a totally new account and tried requesting to follow on that. But again, nothing. When that didn't work, I concocted a plan. I hit up another guy from school, someone I knew well enough to call in a favor. I sent the account to him and asked him to try following it, then update me on whatever happened. A few hours later, he FaceTimed me and shared his screen. He explained what was happening as I read his DMs with the account. Whoever was running it hadn't accepted his follow request, but was asking him a bunch of questions to make sure he was cool. Stuff like what school he went to, or if he knew me. Then they wanted collateral. The collateral in question was very sketchy. My friend had to send a picture of himself, showing his entire body and covering nothing. If he were to break any of the rules he had been told to follow regarding the account, like
Wow.
if he told anyone about it, the picture would be leaked.
That's fucked,
At
bro.
this point, I told my friend he didn't have to go through with it, but surprisingly, he was completely okay with it. He said he had
Okay.
become very interested
Is it him?
in uncovering the mystery of this weird account, and was as sure as me that something bad was hidden that needed to be exposed. After he gained access to the account a few minutes later, he shared his screen with me again so we could see what was on the account at the same time. Neither of us were prepared. The entire account was pictures and videos of me in my bedroom, completely unaware I was being filmed. All sorts of things were captured, from mundane stuff like me doing my makeup to much more exposing things. But I knew it must have captured even more revealing stuff that couldn't be posted to Instagram, even on a private account. That's when we clicked on the link in bio, which led to an OnlyFans account also called The Carla Show. It cost $20 a month, but I needed to know if it was all the stuff that wouldn't get past the automated censors of Instagram. So I paid. The Instagram account had 24 followers, and the OnlyFans had 10, and they were all boys from our school. After my initial freakout, I realized that everything had been taken from the same angle. I went to where that was and found Justin's Bluetooth speaker on my dresser hidden in the clutter. I knew then that it was a secret spy camera he had set up while in my room, and plugged it in so the battery would never die. The entire time he was hanging out with me.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot about that speaker, bro. I totally forgot about the speaker, but I was still like, what's that beeping though? Why would it beep? And yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because like, why was it plugged in? Like, that wouldn't make any sense, right? Because you would just, if it's low on battery, yeah, plug it in. But if it's not low on battery, then just unplug it, right?
He was just waiting for the right moment to set it up so he could sell the footage of me to his disgusting friends. I hadn't thought about the speaker at all, but I realized then that that was what had been making the beeping sound all along. Which must
Camera
have been
though?
the moments when it started recording. I did my
Yeah, so no wonder all the guys are looking at you kind of like, or, I don't know, but like, what the fuck, bro? That's so far. Like, how do they even, if it's recording, where's it recording to? Like, it's literally a speaker. Like, there's no cameras and speakers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. There's no cameras in a built-in speaker. Like, you know, there's no cameras built in a speaker. Like, as far as I know, anyways. And like, how does it even get to him? Like, he's not there to take any footage. Like, it's not stored on an SD card. It's not, is it stored on like the internet or something? And then he actually gets it, then posts it. Like, I don't understand. That's fucking scary as fuck, though. Oh my god.
best not to act as though I had discovered it, so the sicko wouldn't try to cover his tracks. Then I asked my friend to show the account to the school, who reported it to the police. After they forcefully gained access to the accounts, Justin was arrested, and all his viewers were either suspended or expelled. I think they should have all been arrested. Anytime I think about this, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Well, I mean, let's say like you're buying an OnlyFans subscription. Like you shouldn't go to jail for that because like you're just buying an OnlyFans subscription. Now you should go to jail for not reporting it. Like you're not reporting the crime that's taken here. Like it's not willingly her taking videos of herself. It's being secretly done, right? So, in that sense, yes, you should get arrested for like not being an accessory, but it's like you're not stopping it. Like you're not doing anything to.
Something like this happened to me.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you should at least like report it or do something like that. That's fucked up though. I wouldn't say children's drawings for that, because I would just say like for true Instagram and like relationship horror stories. I don't really know. I guess they weren't really dating, but like first story was so sick and twisted. I also remember there's people like that in real life out there. The first story's plot twist was insane. The first story was so surprising. I didn't see that plot twist coming. Exactly. Yeah. Like yeah. I was thinking, what's the first story? The poor girl. I thought the girl was gonna be the bad one, bro, or the sus one. I was taken aback as my anticipation was for the girl to be the aggressor, but my perspective shifted dramatically when the protagonist detailed confining her in his basement. The third story is stupidity. How can you be so naive not to even move the speaker he left or even relocated somewhere else for weeks? It doesn't make sense, and it was plugged in the whole time. Plot hole. That was the fourth story, not the third one, but okay. Despise the guy from the first story, 100%. What a disgusting person. No one will trace it back to me. Bro hasn't heard of Reddit yet. It took me by surprise. Yeah, the first story, I was just like, what the fuck, bro? Like, that's so fucked up. Like, anyways, I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm a little bit tired, so don't mind me. I'm kind of like, I don't know what else to say about that, but honestly, yeah, all stories were pretty damn good. Obviously, the first one was fucked up. Like, that's really fucked up how anybody would even do that. Like, just such a shock and twist, because I did not expect that whatsoever, bro. Because you expect the horror story from the perspective of the person telling it. Like, you're expecting them to be the victim, not the person, not the antagonist. So, that's fucked. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any more suggestions or any more videos that you guys want me to watch, please let me know. Comment down below. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment down below. Turn on post notifications for myself and Mr. MJV Animations. And thanks for tuning in here next, and I'll see you guys next video. Deuces.